Jane May Tobel.
Okay, Mr. Silver, you may inquire.
Good afternoon, Ms. Tobel. Are you a teacher?
I'm a teacher at Olympic Heights Community High School.
How long have you been there?
14 years.
Are you suffering any medical difficulties at the moment?
Yeah, severe. I just had cancer surgery yesterday. I'm having a hard time.
How'd the surgery go?
Well, it was long. I was 5.5 hours in surgery. They didn't let me out of the hospital. I just wanted to go home. So I was released finally at 10 after 9 at night. And I didn't sleep, but I'm doing better today. You know, my friend who had to spend the night last night, she took me to the doctor today for a post-op. So things are looking better. So, you know, I'm okay.
Did you ask the school board not to have to teach in the brick and mortar schools?
Yes, I applied to be a remote teacher because of my physical condition. And I was provided by the county with a status 2, and I was refused by my principal to be allowed to teach remotely.
What does status 2 mean?
Severe health problem with teaching in brick and mortar.
Are you on chemo?
Not right now. That's still in the future. In other words, this is the first step. I was only diagnosed, I don't even know, like end of July, beginning of August. I'm still in shock over the whole thing. It's been really, really, next is the supposedly the radiation, next is the chemo. I have 2 follow-up appointments on Friday.
Have you been told that when you're on chemo and having cancer that you're at a higher risk to succumb to COVID-19?
Big time, yeah.
Yeah. Are you concerned that if you went back into the school that you could die?
Oh yeah, my thing is I'm a teacher. I didn't join the military. I didn't join a career that puts my life on the line. Right now they're asking me to put my life, I cannot go brick and mortar. I cannot.
Who told you that? How do you know that?
The doctors, I mean, even the county specification said cancer is status 2. You should not be in the school.
Okay, so you were granted status 2, and then what happened? You told your principal that you gave the information to your principal, the documentation. You said I have cancer, I don't want to go back to school, right?
Yes.
Then what did he do with that information?
Nothing. Too bad. You're not approved.
Who's the principal there?
Kelly Burke.
Okay, so Kelly Burke just said, what were her words? She just said too bad, or what did she say?
Well, no, it's a form letter, and it says, you know, at the bottom it says approved or disapproved. It was disapproved.
Okay, so who was approved at Olympic Heights? Do you know?
No one that I know of. I was told that no one was approved. But I don't know. I know that I spoke to another teacher from another school who said that her principal approved every single status 2 person. They were all approved and they're all teaching virtually.
And your principal approved nobody, right?
Nobody.
Okay.
But my further concern is this, and I didn't find this out until Friday, like 11 o'clock. I wrote a 16-page document for my substitute because I found a substitute. I figured I don't know what to do. Step 1 is just let's handle my classes for 2 weeks while I can try to at least get my head wrapped around my surgery and try to recover. Because, you know, like last night, I couldn't even walk. My friend had to walk. I mean, I couldn't even, it was bad. I'm doing a lot better. But anyway, so I provided a 16-page document for a sub that I have for 2 weeks to teach my students. And I thought everything was okay. I told my students, I don't know what it's going to look like. This is new for everyone. You know, let's just, you know, roll with the punches. And then I find out that because I have a sub is not required to teach anybody except brick and mortar. So that means the vast majority of my students will have no teacher for 2 weeks. Now I put in things so that they have things to do, but they'll have no instruction for 2 weeks. Nobody to ask a question to for 2 weeks. No one there. And I teach AP class. In my AP class, which is an advanced placement class, I have 27 students. Only 3 are going brick and mortar. So that means 24 students have no teacher for 2 weeks.
And could you have taught them from home?
Well, not today, but yes, I would be able to teach virtually. That's not going to be an issue. They told me I'm going to be getting better hour by hour. I'm going to slowly recover. You know, I've decided not to take the heavy duty medication that they gave me. I'm taking the antibiotic, but the heavy duty medication causes nausea. So I'm trying to just stick with over the counter things that they've suggested. So I'm still in pain, but I'm okay. And I'd rather be bearable and be able to teach at some point, you know, and not be like under the influence of heavy medication.
So you have cancer,
Yes, sir.
and your treatment that you're choosing is based on your devotion to your students, that you want to still be able to teach your students, and you've told your principal you want to teach these students, and you're being told you can't unless you risk your life and walk into the school building, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about these AP classes. Is it something like you could miss a couple of weeks and it's no big deal, or what happens when these are very, very high level classes, right?
So these are high level, and I'm teaching 3 AP, how do you say, AP 2D, AP drawing, and AP 2D drawing and 3D. I just had the AP 3D class that it just opened. I only got the curriculum approved a week ago. I just put this in a week ago and had it approved by AP Central, which is like the big place in the United States where you apply for an AP class. So that was just done last week. This class didn't exist. Nobody's ever taught any of these classes.
So a substitute can't just walk in and start teaching your class, right?
No.
Okay, what's going to happen after the 2 weeks? What are the students going to do then?
Well, I don't know what to do. I can't keep paying myself to work. You know, in other words, I could keep pulling out of my pool of, what do you call it?
Sick leave?
Sick leave. But basically I'm paying myself to work. And the thing is it still doesn't work, because if I'm on sick leave, I still can't teach my students. It still means I have a sub, which means only my brick and mortar kids get a teacher and none of my virtual kids have a teacher. It's stupid. It's pointless. So I might be looking at a medical leave. I don't know what I'm doing yet.
What is the quality of education that your students are going to receive based on the new policy of not allowing you to to teach from
My
home?
students are getting zero education. All my virtual students are getting nothing, absolutely nothing. Well, I could teach virtually. I know that at the end of 2 weeks, I should be able to sit at the computer. Right now it's difficult. Like I said, it's only been 18 hours that I've been home from the hospital. So I'm in pain. I couldn't sit here all day. But in 2 weeks, yes, I'd be able to sit here and be on the computer and teach virtually. It wouldn't be an
You
issue.
could probably teach on Monday, right? Next Monday?
I don't know. I gave it a 2 week, because what it is I still have doctor appointments 3 days next week already. You know, there's no school Monday, but then I have 3. I mean, so I'm still going crazy, you know, trying to do post-op and stuff. But then after that, yes.
I have no further questions.
Cross-examination.
Good afternoon. So you're a teacher?
Yes.
Do you have any other job responsibilities at your school?
I'm also the, what do they call it? The teacher, what do you call it? I created the National Art Honor Society, and I'm the sponsor for the National Art Honor Society, which has been very active at the school and outside the school.
So you requested to work remotely?
Yes. As per the school board. I mean, the school board did approve it.
Okay. And how did you communicate with your principal about your desire to work remotely?
By applying.
Okay. You said you received a form letter
Yep.
from her? Did the letter provide any explanation for why your request was denied?
Nope.
Okay. Did you?
Just said there's no positions available.
So the letter gave a reason that no positions were available for remote work?
You could tell it was a form letter, yeah.
Okay. Are you aware whether before school campuses were reopened, a survey was conducted of families about whether they would be sending their children back to the physical campuses or not?
Yes.
Do you know how many families of students at your school completed that survey?
No,
Do you know how many students reported to school on Monday this week at your school?
I'm not positive. I had doctor appointments Monday as well. I had pre-op. So I've not really been on the computer. I know that I received 2 phone calls. One from a student who was going to go live and who said she thinks she's just going to go Monday and Tuesday because she has 2 siblings and a father with asthma. And she decided that it wasn't wise for her to be on campus and expose herself because then she would bring it home and it could kill. One of her siblings has very severe asthma, so she didn't want to do it. And then I received a phone call from another student who I have in 2 classes. He's in my AP class, and then he's also in my Photoshop. I teach a computer class in Photoshop. And he said when he got to Photoshop, they did virtually nothing because the school hadn't even provided the software on the computer. So they were better at home because I had provided a way for them to all get those softwares on their home computer.
And I know you've mentioned this in bits and pieces throughout your testimony. Can you just walk me through your full class schedule?
Okay, Monday, first period, Photoshop. Tuesday, second period, AP 2D, AP 3D, AP Drawing, Portfolio 1. Third period.
That one class? Sorry.
Yes, sir. I teach 4 classes at the same time. And then in third period, I teach Drawing 1 and Drawing 2. Fourth period is purely Art 2D. Fifth period is Art 2D and some students that have AP 3D. Sixth period is planning, and then seventh period I have Photoshop 1 and Photoshop 2.
Are those regarded as fine arts courses, any of them?
I don't think Photoshop is. Those are computer courses, but the other ones are all fine arts.
Okay. Do you know how many students reported for class this week at the physical campus for each of your classes?
No, I've been in the hospital.
Understood. So you haven't resigned from the school board, right?
From the school board? I'm not on the school board.
Sorry, from your employment with the school board, you haven't resigned, right?
No, I have not resigned from the school, no.
Okay, but you didn't report to school this week.
Well, I have a sub. Like I said, I knew when my surgery was going to be, they don't plan it in 2 days. So I knew ahead of time. I hired one sub who then called me and said, oh my God, I'm sorry, I can't do it. So then he had to go. Then I tried another one who couldn't do it. And then the lady who works the front desk, Adriana, she helped me. She found the third one who was willing to go brick and mortar. So I had a sub to cover my classes. So I have a sub for 2 weeks to cover my classes. But they don't cover my virtual, which I didn't know. I didn't find out until Friday afternoon.
Did I understand you to say that? So when you take a leave, there is a substitute who performs your duties?
Well, have you ever had a substitute in a classroom?
Haven't had the pleasure. Do you know?
They don't have knowledge of the course. What I did is I provided lesson plans, her schedule, who in each class she could count on to help her to do things. That's why it was 16 pages. I gave her tons of information to hopefully take care of all my students. And it turns out they're only taking care of the brick and mortar kids.
So do you agree that it's important for you to teach your classes and not a substitute?
Of course.
Okay. Do you know whether substitutes are generally available for your school right now?
It's very difficult. She was the only one, like I said, and I've been working on this for a while. I knew about my surgery, so I spent a lot of time trying to secure, a sub to make sure that my kids were okay.
So you mentioned you have a leave request in for 2 weeks right now?
I had a sub for 2 weeks. It's just, in other words, it's medical, whatever you want to call it, yeah.
So have you applied for leave?
Not at this point.
Okay.
I figured I couldn't even wrap my head around it. I was so busy trying to write the lesson plans and get everything organized for my students. A lot of my students have my phone number. Like I said, they've been calling me. We need this, we need that. What about this? I need a letter of recommendation and things like this. I just wanted to focus and make sure my kids were okay. I figured I have 2 weeks. Hopefully by the end of this week, I'll be feeling better. And then I can try to figure out what I'm going to do after the next week. I still have doctor appointments, but I'll have time to think about what I do next. I don't know what to do next. I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay. Well, thank you. I don't have any more questions for you.
Redirect.
Did your principal go through any medical determination? Did they ask you any questions about your condition? Was there any medical analysis, or was it just a blanket denial?
Blanket denial.
Okay. I just want to thank you.
I
Go ahead.
would say what I've personally done all along, when I realized what was happening and that I was going to have surgery, that I had cancer, that I emailed my principal and the chair of my department and kept them abreast all along the way of what was going on. And that as soon as I knew when the surgery was going to be, I would let them know immediately so that there were no surprises. Everybody would have a heads up. I've just tried to be conscious that they're running a school and they need to know what's going on as well.
Did they respond to any of your emails?
My department chair has been amazing and very supportive, and Mrs. Burke just said, good luck, whatever. I don't know.
There is in fact a place for you though, virtually, right? There is a place for you to teach, and you could teach virtually.
Yes, I can't see why not. Yeah.
Okay. I have no further questions other than going through cancer and doing all this work to try to care for your students and find a substitute and everything with what you're going through. I just want to thank you for your devotion to your kids.
Thank you. Yeah, I love my students.
All right, Ms. Tobel, what we're going to do is we're going to put you back.